This is the session here for the new Tech Tidbits, formerly Wednesday Bites. And this session is on using the Chrome extension Mote, which if you haven't used it before, it's really neat and it's a great way to communicate with others using voice notes. I am Jeremy Mikla, the new instructional tech specialist at ECMECC. And here, let's take a look first off on what is Mote. So Mote is a free, and free should maybe be in quotation marks there, extension for Google Chrome that does voice notes. It works with many of the Google products, and everything from Google Classroom and Docs to slides and even forms. It can be used to leave voice feedback for students or teachers. It can be used as an accessibility tool, and I'll kind of show you how that can work here too. And has many other great possibilities. In order to use Mote in Chrome, you have to install it. There's a link right here to install Mote from the Chrome Web Store. Once you install Mote, you'll get this little purplish whitish M that will appear in your extensions dock. It'll also appear in things like Google Slides right up here when you have it turned on for slides. It'll also appear when you want to leave comments in a Google Doc or even when you type notes in the stream or in assignments in Google Classroom as well. If you're having trouble installing the Mote extension, on this fourth slide here of the presentation, you can see there's a little about 1-minute video that shows you and walks you through the process of installing it. There's a lot of different permissions that need to be granted in order to allow Mote to work, like turning on the microphone and allowing Mote to have access to your Google Drive, because when Mote makes a recording, that's where it's going to want to save it. So let's take a look at how Mote can be used in different Google products, starting here with slides. So Mote in Google Slides, once it's enabled, is pretty simple to use. You just go to the slide that you want to add your recording to, and you click on the Mote icon that's up at the top of Google Slides. And it will say right here, click to start recording your Mote. And so I click the purple button here and say, so then it comes on here. And because I'm using the free version of Mote, I get 30 seconds to record whatever it is that I say. And when I am done, I just click that button again. And you'll see that it says, hey, would you like to listen to your playback here? And so I can click to listen. So then it comes on here, and because I'm using the free version, and if I like that and it sounds good, I choose to insert it, and it's working its abracadabra magic, and it's creating that audio, and it is placing that right up here. And right now there's no icon on there. So one of the things that you can do then in formatting is you can go and you can give it some sort of a different image. So maybe I want to replace that image, let's say with one from my drive, and I can choose maybe my nice little picture here and replace that. And now this little picture right here has become that audio file. So I can go and click on that and play that even during the presentations from Google Slide. So that's really kind of cool what you can do with slides. Mote also works well in Google Docs. In Google Docs, you can go and you can click on, for a sample here, this document that I have about Mote. And I'll just open this up here and I'll share this instead. So in Google Docs here, maybe you have something that has been shared with you or that you've shared out with others that, you know what, you want to make some comments on. And so maybe, like, hey, this is kind of trouble. And then when I go and highlight a bunch of text, I can choose the add comment button. And you'll notice that where I'm adding comment, I have the Mote icon and I can click to record. Yeah, it seems like you're having a little bit of trouble with the usage for the word there. So let's go back and review that again. And once again here, it will create a link to that Mote. If the person you're sharing this with has Mote installed on their end as well, they can listen to the Mote directly from here. If they don't, it will give them a link, and they can use that link then to listen to it in kind of like a web browser version of it. So pretty easy to use that with Mote. And just like other notifications and comments, when you leave something on a person's doc, you'll be notified that there's something there for you to listen to. In Google Classroom, Mote is really easy to use, and I can use Mote to leave comments in the stream, just like I had done right here.
Hey
Hey
kids,
kids,
I am
I am
going to be
going to be
gone from
gone from
class
class
today. You're
today.
going
You're
to
going
have
to
a
have a
sub. That
sub.
sub
That
has
sub
the
has the
lesson
lesson
plan.
plan.
And then students can listen to that Mote if they have it also installed. And if not, it will give them a link and they can listen to it from the web. You can also use Mote in the classwork tab on student documents themselves. So here is perhaps a student document. Maybe it looks a little bit familiar here. And you can go and you can leave these comments like I left for this student today. And guess what?
Yeah, it seems like you're having a little bit of trouble with the usage for the word there.
So students could also listen to them as well when you leave them for them in Google Classroom. I didn't share that tab, but here's what that one looks like right here, where I just played that last little part from. Next, in Gmail, you can also use Mote in your Gmail. And when I go to start typing into the content of it, you'll see the Mote icon down at the very bottom near the send button. And I can click on that and I can start recording the message that I want to send to somebody about whatever topic that happens to be. And then stop that and it will add that recording into it, just like from other places. Next is, and here's where I think is kind of a fun way to use Mote, especially in the classroom, is if you use Google Forms to assign students tests or quizzes. You can use Mote in reading a question. You can use Mote in reading the responses. And it's a great way, I think, to offer some modifications for SPED students. It could be used as an exit ticket to leave a class at the end of the day, share what you learned during that class. It could also be used at maybe the start of class to connect to SEL in some way, shape, or form. You could ask students about their highs or lows for the day. And they, if they have Mote, can also respond using audio and Mote rather than typing everything. And you as the teacher, when you go to view the results in that Google form, you can click on a link in the form that allows you to listen to students and not just read what they say. Because we all know that sometimes you can get a lot by listening to someone speak and how their voice sounds rather than just the words that they use. It might not share everything about it. But really quickly, let me just open up a new form and just show that basically what that looks like. So when I go into, say, type the question, I can say something like, how was your day? But I can also use that to click and record the Mote. Hey, how was your day? And you can see then that it adds a link to that Mote that's in there. And I could even make it a short answer. And then I could send this out to students who, when they type their reply, could also use Mote in their response back to me. All right. Let's go back here. Just a few things here about Mote. The paid features of Mote offer some features that some teachers might find very useful. They have a notebook that they actually call a Mote book. I think that auto-corrected. That saves some of your recordings. So if you use some of the same ones over and over again, the same recordings, you don't have to respeak it every time. You can just choose it from the Mote book and add it to a comment for a student. Mote has a feature that allows you to track how students, how many students are listening to Motes that you send out, who has listened to them and who hasn't. So it's kind of a neat little feature to check up on some of those things. In the paid version, you can also get your audio recordings transcribed. It is a pretty accurate, but again, you can also then go back and edit mistakes that they might make. The paid version also offers a translation to other languages. So if you're a foreign language teacher, it might be very beneficial for you and your students to be able to translate into, I think they had about 25, 26 different languages last time I checked. And it also has in the paid version a STEM mode that works for, say, like math and science teachers really, really well. That allows you to use superscript and subscript when you're speaking in equations, like chemical equations or even algebraic equations. And it has a recognition feature that knows if you say x squared to put that little 2 up in that superscript by that x. But these are paid features, and you can go and you can visit Mote and their platforms that they offer, which is a free and an unlimited and some special pricing for schools that you need to contact them. So that is it and everything here that I know about Mote. And John, thanks for hanging in there. Any questions here before we're done? And before
Yeah.
I turn you loose to try it.
I did have one question.
Yeah.
Where would you go in the system, like to change your preferences? If you decide you wanted to, you add, like you said, accessibility to different types of things. Where do I find that, or how would you do that?
So it's not really a preference, I would say, for accessibility. It's just more how you're choosing to use it, right? So if I choose to create a Google form and I'm going to send it out for kids or something like that, I can send out to my regular ed students the test without me reading things. But if it's a longer question or if the responses have some tricky words, I might record myself saying those words next to where they're typed. You could also do it, say you had a difficult passage to read, and you could put that in a Google Doc. And then you could just in the comments, say, click here to listen and follow along and listen to me read it as you're following along with the words that are on the screen. So it could work in that way as well. It's not a toggle them on and off thing.
Okay.
But like the translation and the STEM stuff would be toggled on and off, but again, only if you're working on the paid versions of it. And depending on the type of user, it could be if it's worth it. I think it's only like $39 or something for a year for, say, like a science teacher or one of your world language teachers too.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have a great one. If you got any other questions, let me know. All right. Thanks.
Sure.